Good morning and happy Mother's Day. Though I really prefer to say bless all who have been or will be doing any type of parenting. And to mothers, I say thank you for birthing the blessed children who people our earth. Thank you also to all those who chose not to give birth to little human beings, but instead birth scientific, medical, artistic, musical, life-giving ideas. Not that mothers can't do that as well as birth children, but I acknowledge and honor the ability to choose. And to all those who nurture, care for, comfort, challenge, and celebrate others' children, thank you. And for all who tend to our world and who manifest love, compassion, hope, justice into existence, you too, I honor this day. And for all who survived mothers who, for a myriad of reasons, should never have been mothers, I recognize your pain and struggles with this day that has the potential to set up false expectations and or may awaken some heartache. I'm here. The reality is that birthing, parenting is complicated and sometimes painful and pain-filled. And that is why today I prefer to recognize any and all persons who genuinely heal, nurture, mentor, and remain a loving presence in the life of others. For all who birth little human beings and who were unprepared to do so, and that would be me, I hope you can identify as I share bits and pieces of my story. It is part of my redemption story. It is part of my life story of why I am a Unitarian Universalist minister. It is part of the story of what I experience as the gifts, strengths, and qualities that South Church has to offer. For together, we are birthing new ways of being Unitarian Universalist. No doubt, there are some unknowns, but sometimes we need to explore the possibilities by trying out the unexpected and see what happens. At age 15, I approached my mother to get info about the birds and the bees, or to be more direct, Mom, where do babies come from? Thank our lucky stars for our OWL program, which provides real and specific sexuality education classes to inquiring children. I wonder what difference having an OWL program would have made in my life. But truth be told, in hindsight, I probably wouldn't have changed too many of my life experiences. They make me who I am. Allow me to tell you about my mother and her unexpected parenting. My mother's mother died giving birth to twins when my mother was 8 years old, leaving my mother, Esther Joyce, the eldest sibling, to care for Charles Jr., age 6, and Ruth, age 4. Her father, my beloved Grampy Fay, was at that point an active alcoholic who took to drinking with a vengeance when his beloved wife died giving birth. My mother and her siblings were passed from one group of relatives to another for a year or more till Grampy Fay sobered enough to establish a home. From that point until my mother reached adolescence, she and her siblings experienced mothering from a myriad of child care persons, live-in girlfriends who became stepmothers, or neighbors and other relatives. Hearing my mother talk of the various challenges, struggles, and positive experiences, my impetus for appreciating and understanding mothering, parenting as a different process than just birthing little beings. It really does take a village of men and women to raise children. With my mother's reluctance to get into that emotionally fraught area of the death of her mother during childbirth and the rapid onset of my hormonal adolescence, when I asked her about where babies came from, her scientific, rational thinking came to the forefront, and in answer to my inquiries, she presented me with a medical book. Now, that medical book named all the parts, they showed their location, and freaked me right out. but did not address the hormonal rage or explain why I flushed with odd palpitations when certain boys approached. My pregnancy ensued in spite of medical explanation. Oh, thank goodness we offer our program here. Yay, South Church. Anyways, I was not emotionally prepared to be a mother, but a rather too young and too vulnerable 16-and-a-half-year-old who fell for a 19-year-old who couldn't tell the truth from a lie. I'd never cared for himself because of a demanding, controlling mother, and who was also thrown into a marriage and parenthood way too early and unexpectedly. It took 18 years and a whole lot of pain and heartache and self-reflection and self-protection before I could get out of that bad marriage both of us had been thrown into because, whoops, we suddenly and unexpectedly were going to be parents. And marriage was what one did back then, didn't one? Now, getting out of the marriage was physically, emotionally, spiritually challenging, but I learned to take all that experience of the unexpectedness of a too early pregnancy and an unsuitable marriage and to turn it on its head so that I could become the person I am today. The mother of 2 grown-up boys, a mother who lost a baby by miscarriage, a mother who in essence grew up with her children, and a mother who came to rely on a whole lot of other people to learn how to mother those children, because I never, ever could have done it on my own. And this experience, and others, but this brought me into ministry. Not just the desire to be a minister that had been with me for a long time, and untamed desire is what led me to a pregnancy at age 16-and-a-half, but a more reasoned and thoughtful desire led me to pursue ministry after I was better prepared and tested by life's unexpected challenges. And that ability to make the choice to pursue ministry came about by observing other ministers, both their strengths and struggles, by listening to and being a member of UU congregations and serving on the UUA Board of Trustees. These experiences gave me a glimpse into what church could be and the ways that ministers could serve appropriately and healthily. I also learned a lot serving on a search committee in my congregation when I was not listening to my inner voice that told me the candidate we were proposing was not the right one, but we pushed ahead anyways, and he turned out to be a disaster. He was controlling, patronizingly paternalistic, narcissistic, dismissive of lay leadership, and he used his gift of charisma to stoke his ego rather than enhance the gifts of the members. His mistakes have made me conscious of how being called to serve a congregation with others is not a solo act, but a cooperative venture where serving the vision and mission of the church and our larger Unitarian Universalist Association is the most crucial and vital activity a minister is called to. At South Church, serving with you to build a beloved community that is called to enhance the betterment of every being within the congregation and extending beyond these borders is the primary purpose for our being. I gained life skills while in other careers, social work and healthcare, and that I bring with me, and I can continue to fine-tune while engaged in ministry here. And some of these skills include administration, personnel management, systems structure, family dynamics, spiritual development, the need for community and self-care, and most of all, for continuing to learn from my mistakes and the mistakes of others too. Which reminds me of a joke that Henny Youngman used to tell. At the first day of school, he says his mother went up to the teacher, looked her straight in the eye and said, "Look, if Henny makes a mistake, punish the kid next to him, because Henny learns best through others' experiences." Seriously though, That is one of the strengths that ministry at South Church can be. We can cooperatively learn, share stories, explore other ways of doing things by evaluating, adjusting, correcting mistakes as we uncover and correct past errors and discover a whole new way of being. I learned from unexpected and unreadiness for mothering that if I surround myself with others, if I try and try again and try again and remain open to my humanness, your humanness, we will provide an environment that is healthy, joy-filled, love-filled, spirit-filled, and we will come together to discover and build beloved community. And then we will bring that concept out into the world as we live. It takes all of us, our collective wisdom and experiences and mistakes. And we are not just about birthing, we are about parenting and partnering all beings, all creatures, all lives. South Church, your story is this. You are more wonderful than you give yourselves credit for. You are capable of so much, and you are ready to soar. And any minister who sees your gifts and challenges will be as glad to be with you as I am. May it be so. Blessed be.